Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video we're going to be talking about this Lyca Lily May team, which Nayla used to get over 46 billion damage in Skyclops, basically tying the damage output of a Scarlita team, or maybe even surpassing it by a little bit. And we'll also describe like Lyca's kit, why she's effective here. His Lyca, you don't even need to have her really at exclusive equipment to be upgraded or anything. I don't think it is that important to have her Supreme Plus. I mean, it would help a little bit for the damage output, but I think you can run it even without having her very highly ascended. And the idea is basically, Lyca is going to give the attack speed and energy at the beginning of the fight to your Lyca and Lily May, which will increase the damage they can output. She also has physical defense reduction onto her target, and her seasonal skill is really interesting. Now, from the wording, I don't know exactly what it means, but it says that the target will take additional 18% damage for 3 seconds after dealing damage to that target with a normal attack. And Lyca will be constantly normal attacking the boss throughout the fight. So does that mean that the boss will be receiving 18% damage from all sources or only from herself? If it's only from herself, it doesn't make a difference because her damage, she's not here for her own damage. It's here as a supportive role, and also she's going to give Lily May the growth stacks, because Lily May will get a growth stack each time she receives a non-permanent stat boost once she has her Mythic Plus, which you should have if you're running her in Skyclops. So without further ado, guys, we're going to watch the replay, and here we go. So the team is exactly like the Scarlita team, or even the Corrin team, but rather than that slot, we have the Lyca in here. And Lily May is going to be dealing her damage. Smokey is here for the attack and haste buff, which will provide a growth stack because it's a non-permanent stat boost to Lily May, and that will allow her to deal more damage from her Rainstorm Ballet because she'll get additional attacks off on that, and she will also gain that growth stack faster to gain attack percent. It's 12% attack if you have her at her +5 exclusive equipment for each stack. And then on top of all of this, if you take a look at the debuffs on the boss right now, one of them is a physical defense debuff, and that comes from the Lyca. And because your damage sources here are Merrily, who is a physical damage dealer, this will help Merrily's damage. It should help it by a little bit. I don't think it makes that big of a difference. But for Lily May, she's a magic damage dealer, so it shouldn't really be making any difference for when Lyca lands the physical defense reduction for Lily May. And that's why even if you don't have Lyca ascended, Lyca isn't here for a Mythic Plus, she's not really here for a Supreme Plus, she's really here for the basic skill she has to give your team the attack speed and energy regeneration, and then also here for the seasonal skill apparently, because I think that means the boss is just taking increased damage from all sources. Okay, and so Lily May does the bulk of the damage, almost 27 billion damage in this team, and Merrily only contributed 11 billion. Lily May is the main way you're clearing the minions with the Skyclops boss summons, and Lyca also helps with that because Lyca does AoE damage with her ultimate cast, but like right there, but it hardly deals much damage to them, but it reduces their physical defense, as you can see, and that's what she unlocks at her Supreme Plus. But like at this point in the game, Merrily is already dealing true damage because she's fully stacked up, so I don't think that physical defense reduction really matters too much. So we can just change it to 3 times speed and watch the rest of the match. And yeah, already at 44.5 billion damage. Now, definitely the reason he's scoring so high, because I'm going to do the same test with my team. I'm not going to be able to get to 46 billion because my Merrily is not at +15. My Merrily is at +10. So like my limit with this team would probably be around 44.5 or 45 billion damage. But definitely that is, you're competing with some of the top ranking teams out there without having to have a Scarlita. And that's really a good thing. You can use Lyca to replace that. Now I'm going to briefly look at Lyca. If you want to use her and even try her maybe on different bosses, like maybe even in battle drills, like this just gave me the idea that now she might be a boss killer type support because of her seasonal skill, if that is actually how it is working. You could try her in even different Dream Realm bosses, maybe she'll be good there, but there's no evidence she's good anywhere else other than this one as of right now. So it's mainly this ability, which is going to increase the attack speed of allies for 6 seconds, and it goes up to 8 seconds, and this will be on a 12-second cooldown. And at the beginning of the fight, it is automatically casted, and it gives your team 120 energy, which allows everyone to ultimate quicker. It is going to allow Merrily to stack up faster because ultimates will be going off quicker, and of course attack speed also helps out Merrily's damage. And now, her skill power will increase the amount of attack speed granted to allies, so definitely if you're running her and you're trying to make her the best support possible, I recommend giving her the skill power related charms, because the other thumbs up charm just haste and attack speed, but you don't care about her attack speed. She's not here for her damage. You want haste for her cooldowns to be lower of her skills, and skill power for her attack speed granted to allies to be higher. I think that would be the optimal thing. But really, if you're looking at the Mythic Plus, this doesn't really matter. This is not important for the boss fight, and the Supreme Plus is important for the physical defense reduction, but that's only if you're doing a physical related comp. And if Lily May is your main damage dealer, she is a magical damage dealer. And so she's not even benefiting from that physical defense reduction. And Merrily at the end game is already dealing true damage, like at the end stages of the match. And so she doesn't really need as much of that physical defense reduction. But it would improve Merrily's damage somewhat by getting Lyca to Supreme Plus. But basically what you're using her for is her skill 1. Primarily the skill 1. That is the main use of her. And that alone, and maybe the seasonal skill, I don't know if it is actually coming into play, but those are the things which are really allowing her to be a good support for Dream Realm. Now I'm going to try the same team on my account to show you that if you don't have a plus 15 Merrily, what is the damage output you can expect. I already tried this team and I got around 44.5 billion damage, but maybe with RNG it could do a little bit better. And it is like exactly tying my team with Scarlita, maybe doing even slightly better. So it's always interesting when you can replace something like Scarlita, and the reason why I think Lyca's Supreme Plus, our seasonal skill, is actually coming into play is because Scarlita also has a really important seasonal skill which increases the damage dealt by your team. But even despite that, the Lyca is still competing or even out-damaging Scarlita in that slot. So I really think from the wording, it sounds like when Lyca applies a normal attack onto the boss, it should increases the boss's damage received by 18% from all sources, not only Lyca herself. That's what I feel like, but it's just a feeling, I don't know for sure. Okay, this didn't do too well, it only got 42.7 billion, we have to do some more runs. Alright guys, this looks like maybe a promising run. I had to skip through a couple of runs, they weren't getting really high damage output, but they're already 45 seconds left, up to 39 billion damage. This looks like to be the run, and it kind of comes down to the timing of how quickly you can clear the minions when they spawn here. 22 seconds left on the clock, all of our team is alive. Lily May gets off her ultimate for some more damage. Okay, yeah, this is going to be over 44 billion, but maybe not by much. Yeah, we're not going to get more than this, but 44.2 billion, still a really respectable damage output, and definitely with RNG you can get up to 44.5 billion because I did that on my first attempt off video. And maybe even potentially 45 billion, but if you have Merrily at plus 15 exclusive equipment, this can go up to 46 or above billion like we saw in the replay that Nayla sent us. And if you compare it to the Scarlita teams, Wooster got like the best version. He has a plus 15 Merrily. He has fully decked out team. He's barely getting 46 billion. This was his all-time best score. And my all-time best without Merrily at plus 15 with Scarlita is 44.6 billion damage. So basically Lyca is a totally viable replacement for Scarlita, for Skyclops, maybe even in the other Dream Realm bosses. I don't know, because of how she performed here. I feel like maybe she'll have a role in different bosses. I definitely want to try her in battle drills as well. Maybe that would be some potential, although yeah, I mean the physical damages don't do well in battle drills. And even Lily May hasn't been contributing that much damage to battle drills, because so I don't know how viable it is for battle drills. But anyway, it gives you some things to think about. Maybe try some different teams. So big shout out to Nayla for sharing this team, because I would have never thought to try something like Lyca in the Dream Realm boss, and definitely you guys can run this team as well. The only other like kind of innovative team comp that came out within the last couple of weeks was Sylvina in the Lone Gaze. Odie and Sylvina as the two damage dealers instead of Scarlita. Like Sylvina is taking Scarlita's slot, and it is also rivaling the damage of Scarlita. rivaling the damage of that. But anyway guys, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in the next video. And until the next one, everyone, peace out for now.